Hey everyone, what's up? It is about 5:13 p.m. Yeah, this is like the second video today. I would have done more, but my body just wanted to rest, of course. My day, it's a day off, you want to rest, stuff like that. But I thought I'd come on here and basically, well, the title said it best. Give you a live 2018 Patterson Apricot Fiesta haul video. Now, in case you guys don't know what a haul video is, it's basically people like, Andre Meadows, Rob the Wonderful, I think even Zara Nizarak, and several others. What they do is they show what they bought, either when they were out, like what did they pick up, stuff like that, either at regular stores because they were just out and about, or what did they get at certain events that happened around their area. Like I know there are times they'll show what they picked up at a Comic-Con or an E3 or wherever. Me, one of the major events we have around here every summer, a little after Memorial Day, sorry about that, a little after Memorial Day, is the Patterson Apricot Fiesta. It is basically, I'll put it this way. If you combine the 3 hours it initially begins with on Friday night, you combine that with basically the 9 hours, I think 9 hours or something like that, it gets Sunday. It could be a lot longer, but I think it's about an average nine to easy for me to say. Basically, initially around 9 to 5, which is about 8 hours. You combine that, that's 13 hours essentially right there. When you think about it, you got 5 to 8, which is 3 hours, and then you got the 8 hours. That's about 13. And then you take its initial beginning, which is around, I believe, 9 o'clock to about 8. You basically got a 24, basically combined together. You got about, depending on when they set off the fireworks, and that's my dog. She's all right. But initially, whenever they set off the fireworks, it's usually when it's after dark or when it gets dark around here, which is about 12 hours. So you're looking about almost a day's worth, about 24 to 25 hours worth in the span of 3 days of an event. So basically a whole day's worth of one event in the span of 3 days. 3 hours on the Friday, the whole day Saturday, and then about 8 on average, 8 hours on Sunday. But it's still plenty of time. It's still plenty of time. I mean, Saturday and then, Sunday and then mostly the Saturday before it is plenty of time to go out and pick up a few items that you want to get. If there are vendors there that you can actually enjoy. And the thing is, just like with any kind of festival, event, or whatever like that, you're going to have not just rides, you're not just going to have various vendors for beer, especially where you got to get the tokens, because instead of using cash or your card, it takes about $5 to spend to get just one token. So if you want to get like 4 beers, but you don't want to keep going back and forth to get the token, you have to spend about $20. You know what I'm saying? Or you have to spend about 30 if you want to get 6 tokens, or 40 if you want to get 8. So that way, if you really want to get a buzz, as they put it, and you don't want to keep going back and forth, this will do it. Now, with that said, like I said, they also had various foods, not worldwide foods, but kind of localized foods from all around the Central Valley, if not the Bay Area, if not some from the Bay Area, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Um, like I said, they're pretty good. So my mom's traditional thing when she goes to any of these kind of events is just to get the biggest, just to get a corn dog, whether it's regular size or decent size, because she feels that a corn dog's gonna fill her up for most of the time. Me, I ended up I ended up getting what's known as and that's my dog. And I end up getting what's known as a gyro lamb beef, which is pretty good, as well. So yeah, they have variety foods. They also have some rides. Didn't go on any this year because it's mostly for the kids on that part. They had live entertainment bands, tribute bands. They had a tribute band for the Eagles on Sunday. They had an independent band locally called the Kelly McDonald Band, and several others. They have one of the things that's kind of one of the crowning things about it is the Friday before is they have a fiesta. They have a pageant. Now this is a pageant that they start up around. Well, they initially get started, from what I can understand, at the end of every year. It's like around October, November, maybe even December. They start bringing the idea of that year's fiesta together, but they also primarily focus on what the pageant's going to be like. They start sending out flyers, invitations, stuff like that. Basically also giving people plenty of time to register the kid, because they have two pageants. They have a Little Mister and Little Miss Apricot pageant, which is for kids about 5 to 8, I believe, between the ages of 5 and 8. And then they have a Miss Apricot pageant, which is mainly for the high school girls, if not a little older. So they have that, and that's usually the highlight of the fiesta. Its first night is that. So there's that, and then they also had dinosaurs there. Basically, it was just a person in a dinosaur costume, or I guess it was just one person I saw so far. And you can see that in the video I uploaded on the Fiesta this year. We had one guy in a dinosaur outfit just walking around and everything. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he took numerous breaks because he was out in the costume when I got there on Saturday after work. And then he was gone for a while. The guy in the dinosaur outfit was gone. And then he came back towards the end of the day. But it's basically because he had to take some frequent breaks due to the fact that, of course, it was about 96, almost 100 degrees out there. And, if you're going to be in that kind of an outfit where you're walking around, it's kind of an automation kind of deal, but you're walking around, you can see the guy's feet. You're going to want to take breaks. I mean, when he came back, I was filming around, and of course, the guy in the outfit and the guy that's supposed to be like his trainer, Australian trainer, shows back up. And what's funny is I was filming, and I would do this, and all of a sudden, the guy in the costume starts to come towards me, and even I'm doing this with that, and he's coming towards me as well. I got my camera like this, facing me, and it's like he's coming towards me, kind of deal. So it was fun. It was fun to be part of that. Now, like I said, it was hot and everything. So my mom basically, of course, I mentioned this in my vlog earlier. She had that little incident where she accidentally fell. Thank God she's okay and everything. But basically, the doctors and even the advice nurse and the paramedics that were there to help her said, "Oh, you'll be fine and everything. You'll be okay." But they told her, "You need to be careful. You need to, take it easy, especially with this heat." And that's what she's been doing. So thank God she's all right. But of course, one of the other highlights for people is the various vendors that you have there. Now, one of the common complaints that some people have been throwing out that I've heard of is the vendors weren't as big this year. It's like it wasn't as exciting as it should be. And everybody would say that maybe it's because the Fiesta isn't what it used to be like. Some are saying it's because, it was the heat. and stuff like that. Who knows? I've got a feeling that in 2 years, when we hit the 50th Fiesta, it's going to be a lot bigger, and I'll talk about that as well. But I'm here to kind of show you what I got. But first of all, I got to see if my dog needs to go out. Or she just wants another snack. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. My dog had to go out, had to go use the facilities outside. So, but yeah, I'm here to kind of show you what I got. Now, unlike before, it's not really much, and sometimes it all depends on who's there. Sorry about that. Like I said, I had to let my dog out so she could use the bathroom. But yeah, as I was saying, one of the other highlights is going around seeing the various vendors, and one like I said, and again, it all depends on what kind of vendors are there. Sometimes it could be vendors from local mall representing local, stores from local malls. It could be vendors from, just local areas around, like little small stores and stuff. Uh, but one like I said, one complaint that some people have had about the Fiesta is, like I said, it's not as exciting as it used to be, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that we didn't have. It didn't seem like we had that many vendors that had exciting stuff. It's like there was some good stuff there, and I have a few things here, but they didn't have enough, if you will, around to give you a good variety. But again, there's always one around there that's going to stick out, and the one I went to stuck out in a sense because it was pretty good. It was pretty nice to go to. There was two. There was another one, and I got something from there as well. I had the money, so I might as well treat myself, my mom, and even got something for my niece, and got something for my sister and my brother-in-law, her husband. So I figured, you know what, might as well do that. And yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of what it didn't have. I'm guessing it just didn't have much of a variety as some people like. I'm guaranteeing that the more we get close, like I said, we get closer to the 50th anniversary in 2 years, it's gonna probably be a lot more. Probably a lot more that happens. But with that said, let me show you what I ended up picking up this year at the Fiesta, so you guys can kind of get an idea. You guys can kind of see what I ended up getting. Now, last year, I think it was last year or so, I ended up getting that. That is I wouldn't say an original drawing. Well, it's an original drawing by the artist that was there because he had two things under it. He had like a work in progress sheet along with that. And I think the work in progress sheet, he had various copies. I don't know how he did it, but the various work in progress, I think the work in progress sheet is under there as well. But that is a actual drawing. I believe the guy did himself. That is a drawing of Princess Mononoke. And I saw that and I said, you know what? I got the money. I'm going to get it. Because if there's any anime I ended up liking initially when I first saw it was Princess Mononoke. It looked just really good. So and people were praising it, and it was well deserved of that praise. So I ended up getting that courtesy of being over there at the event. Now, there was, in case you guys are wondering, there was a My Little Pony thing there. It was at the place I got some of this stuff, but I didn't get it, and it was for $10. It was a Funko Pinkie Pie Sea Pony, and I'm thinking I could got it, but I still have family that's kind of like, iffy about it. I mean, they understand, as I said, my family understands and everything, but they still like to tease. And the last thing I need from my older sister is for her to see me hauling around in a bag a Pinkie Pie Sea Pony, even if it's a Funko Pop one. Don't worry, I'll probably still get it, but I'll have to spend just a bit more just to get it. Maybe less, I don't know. But yeah, there was that kind of stuff. There have been some years where vendors will be out there and they will have DVDs, movies on DVD, maybe even Blu-ray. They have CDs. They'll have people out there playing the flutes. But I'm guessing because of the heat, some of the vendors that were supposed to be there probably canceled out because they're like, look, we ain't gonna sit through that. I don't know. But thankfully there were, just a fair amount. There's a fair amount. And mostly sometimes it's just to also promote their business because some of the stuff they do, they actually create themselves. Or they create along with other people. It could be wood carvings of stuff. It could be glass carvings of stuff. Who knows? And it's also to help kind of advertise businesses like real estate, Prime America, places like that as well. But anyway, what did I get this year? Well, this year, and I've gotten shirts from it before, there was this one vendor um, that was run by this, I think, Chinese couple, very nice couple. And they had a variety of T-shirts, all these graphic tees, if you will. And there was some that stuck out to me. And I said, I'm going to get that one, and that one. And the one I ended up getting for myself is this Beatles one. Right here. I ended up getting this Beatles one for myself. It's a large. I got one for my mom, but she's put it away already. And what I ended up getting for her is a Beatles one as well, because of course she loves the Beatles. Like I said, like I said, of course, she loves the Beatles. She actually saw them in concert back in the '60s. Um, I ended up getting her one that's kind of yellowed. I'm guessing that's how. I'm guessing they printed it out that way because, of course, sometimes when you print on stuff onto a T-shirt to sell, sometimes the prints don't always come out good. I ended up getting her one of the first covers they did. In fact, if you know about the Rock Band game that came out several years ago, it's kind of that. It's kind of like that. It's not exactly that same picture of the Beatles running through like a an alleyway or something. But it's kind of yellowish white. Again, I'm thinking that's how they printed it. In fact, I showed my mom that graphic tee, and she was like, "I like that design better." And I said, "Well, I can't remember if they had her size or not, but I just thought, this picture represents almost when they started, just to go with it." And she was cool with it. She liked it. And then I got my niece a Marilyn Monroe T-shirt, which said, I think, California Love on it or something. I can't really think what it was. And then after that, there was another vendor, couple, I think, in the same street vicinity or something. And the one thing about these vendors, most times, is there's a variety of vendors. In fact, there was two, but this guy had more variety that will sell these pictures or these little, I don't know what they are, but they're kind of like little frame pictures that have a variety of little miniature pictures or cards or whatever, articles, sealed within. So I ended up getting my niece a Marilyn Monroe one. In fact, it was the only Marilyn Monroe one there was. It's got a variety of pictures of Marilyn in there. I ended up getting my sister and her husband one that had Ricky Henderson when he was part of the A's, and of course, recently they renamed the athletics field, the athletics field at Oakland Coliseum, the Ricky Henderson Field. And then I saw this over there, and I decided to get it for me and my mom. Well, mostly my mom because she loves the Giants. One of the first things I got, and this was for about $5. You can actually see that. This is Tim Lincecum, and this is when he was with the Giants. So I ended up getting that for her. She liked it. And the reason she liked Tim, and the reason she likes Lincecum is because he kind of reminds her a little bit of my second older sister's husband, in a sense. So, for some reason, I don't know why, but yeah, I ended up getting that for her. And then I ended up getting this as well. Now, I got another one a couple years ago. I hung that in my room. It's packed away right now. But I ended up getting her this as well. Because, she likes the Giants and everything. And anytime they play, she gets really into the game, or at least tries to. Like I said, she at least tries to get into the game as much as she can. Now, of course, one of the other things that I like to do over these kind of events is sometimes the same vendor that would sell that kind of stuff, also sells comics or movies or figures, like I said. So I ended up getting a few comics. And what was funny is each of these is about $5 or advertised at $5. But according to what they said on the sign in front of them, they were half off what they originally are being advertised. So instead of being $5, I ended up getting them for $2.50. And what I thought was going to be a total of like 60 ended up being a total of 40. With the 40 along with the Marilyn Monroe collage thing that I got my niece. But what did I end up getting? Well, I ended up getting a few comics that really interesting. They just stuck out to me. Of course, some of them are old school because I grew up on them. So we'll take a look at the old school ones first. I ended up getting issue 20 of Transformers when they were under the Marvel license. And this is, oh, it's got the name under here. Cards and Comics Central, San Francisco, California. Oh, so that's where it is. It's Cards and Comics Central. So, see, you basically had people coming not just from around the Central Valley, but from the Bay Area as far as San Francisco. So, according to this, that is. But we had Transformers issue 20 when they were originally under the Marvel license. Ended up getting it looks like the Image issue 3 cover. Cover B, that is, but issue 3 of G.I. Joe Transformers. I think I may have issue 3. I gotta look. But this is the cover B, like one of the Valiant covers. So there's that. And then I ended up getting issue 4 of the original miniseries of the 4-issue limited miniseries. I ended up getting issue 4 of the Transformers. I think this is basically when the comics were the ones that first introduced us to them. So that's not bad. That's like a collector's right there. Issue 4 of the first 4 issues. That's pretty good. And then I ended up getting issue 35 of the Transformers under the Marvel license. Now, the backing doesn't say the name, but I'm guessing that might have been a backing of somebody else. I don't know. But it also advertises something called The Fall of the Mutants is Coming. So, wonder what event that was. And then, of course, I got the one that Linkara actually advertised one time or reviewed. I think it was Linkara. It's issue 21, issue 31, I should say. The Car Wash of Doom. So, yeah, I ended up getting that. I saw that and I said, I got to get that. We got issue 31, The Car Wash of Doom. And then for more up-to-date ones, for $5, I ended up getting The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 539, One Moment in Time. Yeah, One Moment in Time. I don't know if Linkara has this one. But if you do Linkara, maybe you should look into reviewing it in the future. Who knows? It looks interesting, but it's One Moment in Time. I don't know. And you would think, wait a minute, that's like 39 issues or so after the incident. What's going on here? So, yeah, but it's issue 39, One Moment in Time. And then I saw this, and its cover looked really interesting. And it was the only comic of her out there, as far as I saw. I think there's one more or something like that. We have Spide-Gwen issue 12. This is Spide-Gwen issue 12. And of course, Spide-Gwen is going to be in the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animated feature coming out at the end of the year. But we have Spide-Gwen. In fact, it's my first Spide-Gwen comic, I think. And then, of course, got issue 1 of DC Universe Rebirth, Batwoman. I think they had a couple of other Batwoman ones, but this one is like issue 1 of the Rebirth, DC Universe Rebirth. So even if people find it still a little ridiculous, you always want to try to get the first issue of something. But yeah, those are mainly the comics I ended up getting. They didn't have any Sonic comics or MLP comics of IDW or Archie. So kind of a shame. I'm pretty sure if the other vendors that may have canceled out, saying may have, in my opinion, they may not have. I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure they would have came in and maybe done some, maybe would have had more variety. Because I remember a couple of times there have been vendors who a majority of what they were selling were comics. So, who knows? Again, I'm guessing it could have been the heat, and they're like, look, we're not going to deal with that kind of crap. So maybe that was it. I don't know. Or, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those were the comics I ended up getting at the Fiesta this year. And not too bad. Not really too bad. I mean, when you consider it's like $250 for each, half off of what they were advertised, it's not too bad. But overall, that's what I got and what I ended up getting for my mom and my family. As far as the Fiesta goes, like I said earlier, there are people that were kind of complaining about, well, not complaining, but being critical of the fact that it just wasn't as it used to be. And one of the critical complaints that even my family, my mom gives a lot, is the fact that it's becoming more about the drinking, not the drinking of soda, but the drinking of beer and all that and the wine. It's becoming more about the drinking instead of the fun. In other words, it's more about the young kids, the young generation, the young generation, my current generation, stuff like that. Me and my sister's current generation and my niece's generation, my niece and nephew's generation, just going out and drinking and getting drunk and all that. And, I agree, I'm not innocent at all. There are a couple of times that me and my sisters and my niece, me and my sisters would go out and we would have, we would buy, we would buy maybe $20, perhaps 30 if we have the money. We would go out and buy 4 tokens for beer, 4 or 5 tokens for beer, and we would, drink the beer. We would go and get beer whenever we ran out or we wanted to take time. Thank you for the comment. Doublegins. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Yeah, thank you for the comments on the comics and the ponies, if you will. But yeah, and hello to you too as well. But yeah, like I said, people are mostly complaining about that now, at the fact that it's mostly about the drinking. And like I said, me and my sisters were not innocent. There are times we will get buzzed. My niece will get buzzed and all that, after we've had a few. And even after the Fiesta ends, there have been times that a lot of us will go out and we'll want more, just to relax, just to get a little bit more fun, or kind of make things a little bit more fun for us. And again, I will admit, it kind of feel like even with that, it doesn't feel like it has the same vibe as it used to. Excuse me. And I'm thinking, like I said, I agree that sometimes it's all about the fact that it feels more like it's turning into a drinking fiesta instead of a fiesta celebrating the fact that Patterson is known as the apricot capital of the world. So I can agree either way that it feels like something that just doesn't feel right anymore. It just feels a little off. My assumption is this. It's either because not just that, but it's also because the fact that we, again, I'm not, I don't take part in any of this. It's either because either the city or the vendors are asking too much price-wise to be part of this. Like either the city's asking too much for the vendors to spend to bring a little the vending booths or advertisements or whatever over so they can advertise their businesses or sell their products or whatever. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's maybe the vendors are asking too much to be part of this and the city can't afford it. I don't know. A lot of questions get arise, like, what exactly is the reasoning? And it could be either way. It could be either way. In fact, I don't even think that the news was out there this year. If it was, I didn't see it on television. But usually you have like a news van or two out there just with the morning news, either it's channel 12, 13, if you will, or whoever covering this event. But I don't even know if that happened. But I could see the point that people are talking about. And in my opinion, um, I think what needs to be done in the future is they either got to, because this is what I think would probably be the best option. Call me crazy for this, but I think the best option is don't hold the fiesta like at the end on the last day or so of May or the first couple of days of June. No, don't do that. What they need to do, honestly, is hold it during Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, hear me out. Hear me out. When do you think you're going to get more business? On a weekend after Memorial Day weekend? Or are you going to get more business holding it during Memorial Day weekend? Think about that. Think about that. Are you going to have more business coming your direction during just regular days? Or are you going to have them coming your direction on Memorial Day weekend? Because if you hold it during a holiday weekend, believe it or not, you'll get more business. You will. Now you might say, well, people might want to go out of town, pay respects to their relatives and all that. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in my honest opinion, the most likely strategy to really bring in a lot of business, make this thing as exciting as it can be, is to hold it during a weekend that people actually like to look forward to throughout the year. Or at least one of the weekends people like to look forward to throughout the year. And that's Memorial Day weekend. I honestly, I believe that that's probably the best solution you have. Either that or advertise, set a date and advertise when the fiesta is going to be coming months in advance. You can't just put up a banner like a month or two before and expect people to get the word out. No, you need to get the advertising is probably the best solution. You need to get the word out at least at the start of the year that, hey, come these 3 days at the beginning of June, on this day, the last day of May, and these first 2 days of June, this is when the fiesta is taking place. We thought you might want to know about it. At least get it out there, at least maybe at the beginning of the year, so that people all across, not just Patterson, Newman, Gustine, and all that, Merced and all that, know about it, but all around. All around, as far as like the Bay Area, Tracy, Modesto, Oakland, San Francisco, Hayward, Fresno. List the more. What I'm trying to say is, the earlier. So I was just thinking there for a second. Sorry for that pause. But the earlier you advertise this, and like I said, probably the earliest being at the beginning of the year, the more the word's going to spread, not just within the region that you mostly work around, like Patterson, Newman, Gustine, and all that, but it gets word out to the Modesto region, the Turlock region, the Tracy region, San Francisco, Oakland, Hayward, Napa Valley, Fresno. It gets the word out to all those people there that, hey, this is a festival we might want to look at and attend and go have fun at during this weekend, and maybe plan a little bit of vacation around. It not only does that, but it also opens the door for more vendors to come in, and possibly vendors and advertisers that are willing to put up vending booths that can actually pay the money that maybe the city charges for those booths to go up. I'm just saying, I think it would work out a lot more. I'm just saying, I think it would work out a lot more if they did that. Now, will that happen? I'm hoping it does. Because I think the earlier they advertise, the better the opportunity they have to get a lot more people to attend, maybe plan the vacations around it, but also get a lot more businesses to use to come to the fiesta and utilize it as a means to not only advertise the businesses but also sell some products, whether it's products related to the business or it's products that they sell at the store if they're like a comic shop or whatever, you name it. So I think that would probably be the best solution. And if you're looking for entertainment, it opens the door for a variety of other bands and singers, locally, independent wise, tribute, whatever, to come in and become part of that as well, because they'll see the fact that, hey, they got this other platform out there that they could sing at and perform at, and maybe people might enjoy them. Or maybe they'll get more of an audience and fan base to enjoy them than they usually have. My mom even one time told the lead singer, because we did a meet and greet with the Sun Kings, which is a Beatles tribute band. Hey, she took the time to tell the promoter or the lady that was helping to promote them, hey, there's this thing in Patterson, maybe you guys would like to look into it. And that's what I'm talking about. You advertise it as early as the beginning of the year, you'll get all these opportunities thrown your way, to help make the fiesta, make that event, that weekend event, and a lot more exciting and everything to look forward to. My sister even brought up the fact that during the fireworks display, she noticed not one, not two, but probably 3 smiley face fireworks being shot up. Basically, the fireworks that break into the form of a smiley face. And she says she's seen that identical to Disneyland. The only thing is they didn't have the mouse ears. And she brought up the fact that those are expensive to get. So I could probably understand that maybe the reason, if the vendors were the ones charging so much to be part of this, the reason the city couldn't do it is because they already spent money on getting the dinosaur thing to come there, as well as spent the money on these fireworks that break into various, faces or designs. So I'm guessing I'm guessing that's what happened financially. I don't really know. But my point is, if they advertise when the fiesta is going to happen at the beginning of the year, they put the banner out at the beginning of the year if they want to do that, and they start advertising in the local Patterson Irrigator newspaper, the Newman Review, and all the local and not local newspapers that, hey, this event's coming to Patterson in the Central Valley. It's one of the biggest events of the year. It's fun. It's got entertainment and all that. You might want to look into it, plan your vacation around it. They'll be surprised probably of how much business this fiesta would get if they do that. They'd be surprised at how many possible vendors will want to come out to set up a booth to sell items, to sell products, and advertise their business. They'll be surprised of how many entertainment people, locally, independent, up and coming, that want to come to the fiesta to perform in front of a new audience and maybe get some new fans behind them and maybe more support. They'd be surprised at the people that might want to bring their food items, if you will, to the fiesta, because like I said, you got one end of the park, one side of the park is all food. It's all variety of food. So they'd be surprised of how many people want to bring the food and cook it and sell it to people at the fiesta. They'll be surprised of how many people might want to bring some new rides over. I'm just saying that the point is, the earlier they advertise this, the better, because the word will get out there more, and they might be surprised about what happens as a result. But that's just my opinion, and that's basically what I would do if I had a say in how to plan the fiesta and get people to attend, and probably get businesses and food businesses, food vendors in general, and all that to come and be a part of it. So, uh, but that's really all I'm going to say on the video. Basically, I was just here to show you what I got at the fiesta. Also, kind of talk about how it was a little bit. You can check out the video I did below. Well, it's all the highlights and everything of me being at the fiesta. And really, that's about it. So, thank you all guys for tuning in live. Thank you for the comments. Thank you all for tuning in post live. I really appreciate that. And that's all I could say, folks. So, till next time, God bless. Take care. I'm out.